Sens Talk is proud to be powered by Ottawa Interlock Repair for the 2025-26 Sens season. For all your interlock needs, visit interlockrepair.com. Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I am your host. Tonight, your Ottawa Senators took on the Florida Panthers to finish off the Florida Gauntlet, as I like to call it. You got two tough teams down there in the Sunrise State, and Ottawa did fall tonight to the Panthers 6-2, so they do finish off the road trip in Florida with 2 out of 4 points. Could have definitely gone better, could have definitely gone worse. At the end of the day, you take 1 out of 2, that's not too bad. Again, tonight's game wasn't great. Let's just be quite honest about it, but it's game number 2. You got that big win on the opening night, and I like to be a positive guy, especially early in the year. So in this video, we're going to talk about some negatives, but I also want to realize that it's game number 2 of the year. This team last year worked through some issues at the beginning of the year and still made the playoffs. Do not panic. And yeah, we'll talk about Ullmark. I don't think anyone was more critical of Ullmark's game tonight than Linus Ullmark. Some lineup notes before we get into what happened tonight. So Batherson and Tyler Clevin are still not back. It does look like that Drake Batherson will be back for Monday's home opener against the Nashville Predators, though. That's what he said. So it looks like Batherson will at least be back for that home opener against Nashville on Monday, which I'll be at. I'm sure many of you will be there as well. So that's some good news. But on that note, the lineup as a whole did stay the same. Not much of a shock. I said it in my last video. When a team wins a game, it's very, very rare that the coach changes the line. So that means Jordan Spence was a scratch yet again today. I would expect him to be in that lineup on Monday against the Predators, and I hope he's in the lineup more so moving forward. A guy like Jordan Spence, who we acquired for a 3rd-round pick, a guy, in my opinion, that has top 4 potential, has room to grow with this organization, should not be benched on a routine basis, in my opinion. So I'm very excited to see what Jordan Spence can do with the Ottawa Senators in regular season action, and I'm hoping we can see that on Monday against the Predators. But before we get into the game recap portion of this video, I want to say thank you to Dylan Puckniak and Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment for sponsoring Sens Talk. Sens Talk is proudly presented by Dylan Puckniak, Ottawa's exclusive realtor with Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment. Providing a bilingual real estate service that serves the Ottawa-Gatineau community, Dylan Puckniak is also specialized in supporting professional athletes that come and go in our city, providing a service that takes care of the people at the highest level. For realtor experience that puts you and your needs first, visit dylanpuckniak.kw.com. That is dylanpuckniak.kw.com to find out more today. Again, thank you to Dylan Puckniak and Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment for sponsoring Sens Talk. So with that, let's jump into it. So Ottawa fell to the Panthers 6-2. A few notes just on that score. I think the score doesn't really show how well Ottawa played. I think the game overall was much more even than that final score shows. I think Ottawa had a lot of good looks. I think Pinto, as we'll talk about in a few minutes here, was the main benefactor of those looks. He was incredible tonight yet again. But ultimately it comes down to goaltending. And when your goalie puts up a below 800 save percentage, you're not likely going to win that game. As I already said in this video, I'll say it again, I don't think anyone will be tougher on Linus Ullmark's performance tonight than Linus Ullmark. And that's just the type of guy he is. I love a player or a goaltender, whatever you want to call it, that's not afraid to call themselves out and hold themselves accountable. That's a rare, rare, rare trait, especially in sports. So I commend Ullmark for being blunt and saying he was not great. I'll just keep PG. He wasn't so PG in the interview, so I'll keep it PG, but he was not thrilled with his performance. And when Coming in Hot asked him, that being Brent Wallace, asked him about what needs to change on the Senators penalty kill, which we'll talk about in a second here, he says a couple of extra saves. So he's putting the loss on him, which is what a true leader does. I don't think the loss is entirely on him. Sure, there's a few goals that, yeah, shouldn't go in. No doubt about that. But also, you know, some of these chances, especially, again, on the power play, where they're just getting picked apart, well, yeah, you want a couple extra saves, no doubt about that, but also maybe don't consistently go on the penalty kill and give up goals. It's a bit of this and a bit of that, right? But I'll just leave it at that in terms of the night performance for Linus Ullmark, because in his first 2 games of the year, he's faced 51 shots, and this is what I really want to focus on. He's given up 10 goals in those 2 games. So obviously 4 against Tampa and then 6 tonight for an .803 save percentage. That is not great. Obviously, it doesn't take an expert, it doesn't take a goalie, it doesn't take a GM, it doesn't take anyone special to realize that a sub-800 save percentage just ain't going to cut it. What I will say is this. Linus Ullmark last year, as we all saw, was very, very streaky, especially early in the year. It's a bit down, but then suddenly he got up. And yeah, he went down a bit, but stayed up. So yeah, this guy sometimes has downs. And while the lows aren't great, the lows are very rare. Linus Ullmark's a goalie that can bounce back like that. we saw it last game as well, where he didn't look great early on. He rounded into form and really settled down. Ullmark's a goalie that is resilient and able to bounce back. Sure, these first 2 games are not great. But again, as we saw last year, there's ups and downs, up and down. More ups than downs, I'll say that for sure. And most of all, this is a guy, as he likes to say, goldfish brain. Yeah, bad game tonight. Let's move on to the next one. And I expect that to be the case with Linus Ullmark. I think he's going to be just A-okay. This is a Vezina winning goalie, ladies and gentlemen. This is a guy that, has done it before. And even last year when he was down, so to speak, we still had chances to win. So again, we can't have continued 800 save percentages moving forward, but again, ultimately bad games happen. It's game number 2 of the year. Let's give this guy a bit of a break. If it continues, I understand the criticism, but again, let's just kind of let this guy battle through it as he's done before, because usually when he battles through it, he comes out better on the other side, and the Ottawa Senators end up even better because of it. So let's see what happens with Linus Ullmark. Now, last thing I want to mention on, a bit of a negative side, I guess. I want to commend Paulo. He had 5 blocked shots in that first period. The first period was not exactly great for Ottawa, I'll be honest with you. That first goal for Florida, the Marchand goal, where Jensen pinched in a little bit. I mean, that was a classic Senators breakdown in the offensive zone, and the Panthers are a team that's going to make you pay for it, right? So, kind of shows that first period. Ottawa, overall, I think they were decent. But that first period, Florida came to play, and it shows there in the block shots. Paulo had 5 in that first period alone, 5 total. So after the first period, didn't block any other shots. But after a bit of a rough game in Tampa for Paulo, it was great to see that Manti, as I think they call him, had a bit of a rebound game there for him. So that was great to see. Now, the last thing I want to mention is Shane Pinto, who had 2 goals tonight. He could have had 3 or 4 goals, frankly. He had a great chance out front, and then he had another good chance on a breakaway where his stick broke. So it's great to see that third line really dominating. I mean, Ridley Gray, Claude Giroux, Shane Pinto. That is a nasty, nasty third line. For some teams, that could be their second line. The fact that's our third line, unbelievable, right? So the start to the year for Shane Pinto has been unreal. The fact he scored 2 goals and we didn't win is frankly unheard of. That might be the first time that's ever happened in Pinto's career here in Ottawa. He also, in his first 2 games, has 5 points total, and tonight had a face-off percentage of 80%. Shane Pinto has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is the real deal. This guy is an absolute stud, and I need Steve Stais to send this guy a blank check and sign him ASAP before he asks for even more than a blank check probably would produce, because my goodness, at this rate, 164 goals is what he's on pace for. I don't know if he's going to hit that, to be fair, but he's on pace for a lot of goals. He's really, really doing well to start the year, and that's great news for Shane Pinto and his agent. Not so great news for the Ottawa Senators. Thankfully, though, the Sens have so many players locked up on such great deals that they're going to be able to keep Pinto around. I'm not worried about that. Plus, he's an RFA next year, so he's not going anywhere, but please sign this man before he commands an obscene amount of money, and deservingly so. Again, he's an absolute stud, and I want to leave it off on that note, because sure, 6-2 pumping by the Panthers is not great, but here's the things you need to realize. And yeah, also the penalty kill, 3 for 5 today. Who would have thought the Sens penalty kill would be bad yet again when they're doing the same exact diamond formation, right? So obviously that needs to be fixed, right? We'll see what happens. Hopefully we see some adjustments in game number 3. We saw Stützle, for example, on the penalty kill in replacement of Lars Eller today. So we'll kind of see what happens with that in Ottawa for the home opener against Nashville on Monday. But again, I wanted to leave it on a positive note where Shane Pinto is dominant. That third line is really getting after it. And Ottawa in Florida, 2 tough teams there. 2 recent Stanley Cup championship teams there, and Ottawa found a way to get 2 out of 4 points to start off the year at least at 500, go back home and start getting some momentum with hopefully a big win in the home opener. So with that, I'll see you there at the Canadian Tire Center on Monday against the Nashville Predators. I'll be there with Noah Luden. Obviously, you all know Noah Luden, OG member of Sens Talk, so very excited to bring that vlog-style video to all of you. Now, with that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, I'll speak soon. Go Sens, go.